The dining room was warm, in the way only someone else's house can be. Overheated, scented with roasted meat and cinnamon candles, every surface crowded with inherited furniture that had survived too many holidays to be questioned. My son sat beside me, small shoulders tucked in, hands folded in his lap like he was already preparing to be invisible. I had brought the PS5 because I could. That was the only reason, really. I'd wrapped it carefully, written my son's name in the corner, and placed it under the tree without commentary. In my family, commentary had always been dangerous. It invited correction. When my nephew tore into it, before my son could even reach the box, it happened fast and stupidly. A tug too hard, a slip, the console hitting the edge of the table, plastic cracking in a way that sounded final. The room went quiet for half a second. Then my sister laughed. Someone else followed. A chair scraped. "Well," my brother-in-law said, shrugging, "guess he doesn't deserve nice things yet." It was said lightly, like a proverb everyone already agreed on. I looked at my son. He didn't cry. That was the part that stayed with me. He just nodded once, like he'd been corrected on a math problem, and pushed the broken box back toward me. No one apologized. No one offered to replace it. The conversation slid back to football, to inflation, to how lucky I was to have it so easy. I didn't argue. I never did. I cleaned the wrapping paper, helped with dishes, drove us home through streets lit with decorations that felt suddenly theatrical. My son fell asleep in the car, his head tipped against the window. That night, after he was in bed, I sat at the kitchen table with my laptop open. I didn't feel angry. That surprised me. What I felt was something closer to alignment, like when a joint finally sets after being wrong for years. I had been paying their rent for 3 years. Not all of it, just enough to make the difference disappear. I covered my sister's car payment because the loan was in my name. I paid my nephew's private school tuition directly, every semester, no discussions. It had all started during a rough patch and then never ended, solidifying into expectation. I logged into my accounts. I paused the rent transfer. I scheduled the car payment to stop. I emailed the bursar's office and withdrew as guarantor for the upcoming term. I didn't announce anything. I didn't send a message explaining myself. I closed the laptop and went to bed. The next morning was quiet. My son ate cereal and asked if we could try to fix the console someday. I told him maybe. That answer felt honest. The messages started 2 days later. First, confusion. "Hey, did something glitch with the bank?" Then irritation. "The landlord is saying rent didn't come through." Then certainty. "Can you resend it today?" I replied once, briefly. "I'm not able to continue covering those expenses." There was a pause after that. A vacuum where I knew assumptions were rearranging themselves. They had always believed I would cave, not because I was weak, but because I was predictable. On the 4th day, my phone rang from a number I didn't recognize. It was the local police department. The officer was calm, professional. He explained that a vehicle registered in my name had been pulled over the night before. The registration had lapsed after the insurance was canceled. My brother-in-law had been driving. "We just need to confirm ownership," he said, "and whether you're aware of who has the vehicle." I told him the truth, that it was mine, that I had allowed family to use it, that the arrangement had ended. There was no drama in his response, just procedure. An hour later, my sister called, crying this time, not laughing. She said the car had been impounded. She said the landlord had posted a notice. She said the school was asking for payment or withdrawal. "You can't do this," she said. "It's Christmas." I thought about the word can't, how often it had been applied to me in that room. I said, "I'm not doing anything to you. I've just stopped doing things for you." She was quiet after that. The days that followed were messy in ways I anticipated but not rehearsed for. Accusations, relatives reaching out to tell me I'd gone too far. Others, more quietly, asking how long I'd been carrying it. I fixed the PS5 myself. It took parts, patience, and a steadiness I hadn't realized I'd been practicing for years. Nothing resolved cleanly. Some relationships went cold, some conversations never happened. I didn't feel victorious, I felt present. At the next family gathering, months later, I brought nothing extravagant, just dessert. My sons stayed close to me, and no one touched what wasn't theirs. Power didn't announce itself. It settled, finally visible, no longer mistaken for generosity.